betrayer. In truth, it was I who was betrayed.
What's going on, guys? It is Pride from OMFG Kata and Hazardous Cookies, and I wanted to go a little more into detail and in depth and discuss a little bit about Illidan Stormrage, which we just got done, and then we'll talk about a little bit about the future of Lore for Noobs, and we'll give you a little preview of the new cards that are awesome and epic. But right now, Illidan Stormrage, my favorite character in all of Warcraft lore. No questions asked. Definitely my favorite character. And it really annoys me that he's dead, but sometimes, and I'm not saying that the way Blizzard handled it and whatnot is perfect, but sometimes a character, a really awesome character, has to die. It makes for great storytelling. And so we can't really complain too much about the fact that he's dead. But what we can complain about is the way that we killed him and why we killed him. Like, it's always my assumption and thoughts that he didn't necessarily really go insane, as Blizzard wants to tell us to go to, you know. I think that there might be a spin, so to speak, with some of the people in Outland who didn't really like him. Can you guys hear that ice cream truck? I really want some ice cream. Anyways, so I think that there may be some, lore-wise, there may be some people who maybe didn't like Illidan so much, and so they claim that he had gone insane and stuff. Maybe he did go insane, who knows. Everything that Illidan did before Outland, both good and bad, were, in essence, for the greater good of things. Yeah, he did a lot of stupid things, and he did a lot of things that his people, the Night Elves, they didn't really appreciate or like, but it was always to help. It was always to help them out, you know what I'm saying? Like, he never did anything necessarily or intentionally to harm the Night Elven people. Until, you know, the Frozen Throne, when he had to make some really tough decisions, and basically he had been betrayed by the Night Elven people, so he wasn't so much worried about their safety in terms of individual Night Elves, but as a whole, I think he still had their best interest in mind. Because, I mean, he did go through and start, you know, terrorizing some things to get what he needed. For example, to get to the Tomb of Sargeras, he had to have a boat. And so he went to some Night Elven villages and got some boats forcefully. So, yeah, he has done some things that are maybe questionable, but I think that in the end, everything that he did was for the greater good, and not so much for himself, in the sense that he was trying to better himself and only himself. Yes, he did do some things that were specifically aimed at making him more powerful, but also at that same time, the more powerful he is, the better suited for protecting his people he is. Does that make sense? So, I think this is one of those just true tales of a very, very misunderstood good guy who everyone thinks is a bad guy, but in truth, he isn't really such a bad guy. Now, the attack on Shattrath and all the things that happened in Outland after the Frozen Throne are, you know, Blizzard really kind of dropped the ball, and they took one of their best characters and kind of just Mary Sued the shit out of him. Basically, with Illidan, I like everything up until that particular point in time. And then, of course, to be taken down by a betrayer, that's one thing. The betrayer being betrayed by Akama at the very end, which would lead up to his death, that was good storytelling, but everything else was terrible storytelling. We didn't get the conflict of the Brothers Stormrage. We didn't get any conflict between Illidan and Malfurion in the Burning Crusade, which has always sort of been there when it comes to Illidan and Malfurion both. That kind of brotherly love/hatred type deal that they have going on, where they're friends, they're enemies, they're friends, they're enemies, so on and so forth. But it's very interesting to go back and think, if Malfurion and Maiev hadn't have shown up when they did, we may be looking at a completely and totally different world than we are now, because he was going to basically destroy the Lich King via, destroying the Ice Crown Citadel. And so, would we have Lich King? Would Arthas still be around if Malfurion and Maiev hadn't have stopped Illidan? Would the Scourge threat be completely obliterated? Probably not, as the Lich King does serve a purpose of sort of bringing the Scourge as a whole into a single mind frame. And yeah, I think that we may have still had to fight the Scourge, in the sense that we would have to take them out, but I think that without that one single mind, they wouldn't necessarily have the ability to kind of take over, I guess we can say. Yeah, they would have the ability to ravage, they would have the ability to fight, but I don't think that they would, since they don't have that collective mindset and that goal to reach, I don't think that they would have caused nearly as much damage as they did with the fact that Arthas was kind of controlling them and sending them out. Granted that I still also believe that Arthas was being just a little bit remorseful. Not necessarily remorseful, but definitely didn't go all out at some points in his Lich King career. So I always thought that was interesting, that what would happen if Illidan Stormrage was not stopped when he was destroying Ice Crown Citadel. What do you guys think? How about this? Why don't you write it in the comments or something, along with how epic you think that these new lore cards are. So here you go, guys. These are the latest concept. Now, they may change, but this is the latest concept in the lore cards. And we'll just very quickly, we'll take you through this here. We've effectively taken, see, here's the old card, and now here's the new card. Alright, so what we've done, we've effectively taken everything here in this little info pane, and we've brought it up top, and we've kind of made it a part of the header a little bit. I mean, as you can see, we've got his name, but we've also got the title. If you remember, the title is now a part of the name, so we add that up there, right? And then we've got the faction right down here with the alliance and whatnot. And then we've got the badass rating, the BA rating, which, for the record, everyone, the BA rating, let's go ahead and get this thing explained so I can stop seeing all these comments. But what is BA rating? Number one, the new card doesn't even say BA rating. It's just a number. And that number is the BA rating, and it's right next to the name towards the end. The BA rating is the badass rating based upon my own thoughts and feelings. So if your favorite character has a BA rating of 1, that means I think your favorite character is complete and total shit and is worthless to lore. And then things with a 10, like King Varian Wren, are characters that I really like, and I really like the lore to. Now, they're not biased, and a lot of people claim that they are biased towards the Horde and the Alliance, but they're really not. Thrall himself also has a 10 BA rating. Garrosh is pretty up there with an 8. Grom is up there with a 10 as well. So, I mean, I'm not biased, it's just that there's better lore writing for the Alliance than there is for the Horde. So, relax on that. It's all done based on lore, right? And to be honest with you, I think that the Horde card looks better than the Alliance card. So let's go ahead and let's show you the other two examples that I have. We've got War Chief Garrosh Hellscream and the Horde card. So basically each faction is going to have its own card. Now, the smaller factions that don't have a lot of lore behind them, we're probably just going to have a very generic card for them. It's still going to look cool, but they're not going to have like their own little whatever thing going on. But we've got the Alliance, the Horde, and as well the Burning Legion. So there you go, and then in that little bottom area here, we are going to be adding even more information. So effectively what we've done is we've taken all the information we had on the old cards, we've moved them up and made them a part of the heads-up display, I guess you could say, maybe, is what we can call it. Part of the top of the card. And what we've done is we've now made room to where we can add even more information so that you get more lore out of every card that we make. And so that was kind of the reasoning behind what we did, was to kind of be able to give even more lore than we previously could on the other ones. Alright, so I hope you guys like that. Let me know what you think in the comments about the new cards, and Lore for Noobs will be coming back very shortly. We won't be using the new cards yet, as those are the only 3 that are made, plus like a bunch of old concepts that didn't quite make it. So, seriously guys, if you say hello to my roommate who just walked in. That's Treble, by the way. He's a part of Hazardous Cookies. But regardless, tell me what you think in the comments about the new cards. And we'll see you guys on the next Lore for Noobs.